clearly have a focus problem. I know this is going to be hard to believe, but I was 16 when I dropped out of school. It was high school. I lived with my mom, my older brother, in a tiny, terrible little one-bedroom apartment. My brother, being the boy, he got the bedroom. My mom and I shared the living room. Luckily, there were 2 couches in there. One was a full-size couch, one was a smaller couch. I was lucky enough to get the larger couch because as a mother, I'm also a mother, so I understand this now, but as a mother, you tend to give up things, certain things for your children. And I didn't really understand it then, but having kids now, I completely get what she was saying. So when I said to my mom at 16, I said, Mom, I can't do school anymore. I just can't do it. If I stay here, I'm going to die. I was a bit of a drama queen when I was 16. But it was kind of true. I really was not going to make it. I was into drugs, I was into alcohol, I was into anything that I wasn't supposed to be in, I was there. And I didn't like school. I didn't learn anything while I was there. I was an outcast. I was someone who didn't fit in, yet I was friends with everyone. It was a very bizarre, very, very, very bizarre thing. She was not very happy with my decision. My brother, who at the time, he was 3 years older, so he was just graduating school. He says, just finish, what is wrong with you? You know, you're 9th grade, you'll get through it. There's only 3 more years. If I could do it, you can do it. My mother, you have to do this. Look at where we're at. You need to get out of this where we're at. You have to finish. Mom, I can't. I cannot do this. There were a lot of other words that were said that I won't repeat on this stage, but the bottom line is, I dropped out. My friends told me, that the good friends, the ones who were not into drugs and alcohol and bucking the system, said, you have to stay in school, what are you doing? How are you going to get that insert your dream job here if you drop out of school? No one will talk to you. You will not have a degree. What's wrong with you? And I said, what's wrong with me is, well, should we start at the A's? There was a lot wrong with me. I had no direction, no guidance, no idea what I was going to do. I just knew that I needed to find my path. I couldn't take the path that everybody else wanted me to do. They wanted me to go to school, go to college, find a man, have children, get a career, and then leave the children, which was very confusing to me. And that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to write. I wrote for the school paper when I was in school, and they told me it was too dark, and maybe I should go talk to someone because people don't write like that. I drew pictures. Too dark. People don't draw pictures like that. There must be something wrong with you. There wasn't. I was creative, and I didn't fit into their system. There are a lot of people sitting here that don't fit into the system, and you feel that. And you go into a room and you feel that you don't fit into that system. So you hide. You go in the corner, you go in the shadow. You don't walk into a room and say, I am here. Look at me. I can do what everyone else can do if you just give me that chance. So here I am, out of school, no degree. I see this job posting now some of you who know me know this story, so I'm sorry to bore you, we're going to hear it again. But I saw this job posting, and it wasn't the first job I had. I mean, I quit school at 16, and I had other jobs doing computer repair technician, and I always found something to do. But this particular job would be my first real programming job. Now, I ran a BBS when I was a kid. Most of you probably know what that is. I played with computers. I was writing computer programs at 5. So technology wasn't new for me, but I didn't have that degree to back me up. So I saw this job posting. We need a Ruby on Rails developer. I totally got this, right? I didn't know anything about rooming. We need a college degree. I don't have that either, but why not? Why can't I throw my hat, which if you know me, you know my hat never comes off, but why can't I throw my hat into the ring and apply for this job? What is the worst that they can say to me? No, they can't hit, because if they do, I own firearms. They're not going to hit me, right? So I applied for this job. I went in for the interview. And I have this rule. If you don't know something, don't say you do. It serves no purpose. It just gets you in deeper and deeper and deeper. So again, I go to this interview, and yes, I had my hat on. And they asked, why do you always wear your hat? It's a long story. It's boring, and I won't tell you. Then they asked me, well, we're looking for a Ruby on Rails developer. Do you have experience? Why, no, I don't. But I live like right next to a bookstore. I can totally go get a book, read it, and then do whatever you need me to do. And they were intrigued by that. And they knew I didn't have a degree. They knew I dropped out of school because it's not a secret. And they said, all right, we'll give it a shot. I said, really? Because, I mean, worst case is, 2 weeks in, I can't do it, and you find someone else, and I get another job, and you find someone who can actually do it. So I get this job. I read everything I can. I go online, I go to the bookstore, I get my book, and I think it was like 2.5, 3 weeks later, the project that was the deadline, it needed to be done, so I delivered it. And it worked. I was like, holy shit, it worked. But it worked. And this was how I got into Apple development, because the company that I applied for, I'm not there now. I mean, I moved on. I do my own thing now. Not because they were terrible. They were not. I love those people. They were fantastic. They're like family to me. But anyway, after that project was done, I remember Seth was one of the owners of the company, and he came in, he says, we have this app we want. It's our first iPhone app. I'm like, what the fuck is an iPhone? Right? So it was, I think it was like, it was the iPhone SDK, right? It wasn't even iOS back then. It was like 3 point something. And I didn't know anything about it, right? Most of us didn't back then. It had just been opened up to the developers. So again, I said, sure, I can figure it out. I got online, I read, I did everything I could. One of the places I went online, there are two, but the first one I went to was Ray Wenderlich. Does everybody know who Ray Wenderlich is, right? We've all been there, we've all read his tutorials. That's where I learned to program for the iPhone. I now write for Ray Wenderlich. I do tech editing, I do Final Pass editing for him. I'm on the video tutorial team. So there's a progression here. The other place that I learned, lynda.com, from Simon Allardyce. I now do video tutorials for lynda.com. And Simon Allardyce came to my conference in Nashville. So you can see that there's a progression here. There's a path. My path twists and turns. I mean, if you look at me on the street, I'm not very approachable. I make it that way on purpose, I think, because people scare the heck out of me. But the point I'm trying to make here is, you may have gotten to where you're at differently than the person sitting right next to you, different than how I got there. You may have finished school, yay for you. You may have gotten a degree. The person sitting next to you may not have done that. That doesn't make you any more or less valuable. And just because there's something written on the requirements for the next job you want, don't pay attention to that. Go in. Tell them, I can do this. There's nothing that you can give me that I can't do. But more importantly than telling them that, because, maybe they'll hear you, maybe not. If you don't first start with the, I can do that, there's nothing I can't do, and if you don't say that to yourself first, It almost doesn't matter what you tell anybody else. They're not going to believe you if you don't believe yourself. It's important. Go out into the world. Find your path and keep walking. And if you trip, kick the rock out of the way. Dust yourself off. Get up and keep walking. It is the only way to find your path. If you sit down and you stop and you worry about, should I go left? Should I go right? You're gonna miss it. Keep walking. Or if you're like Dory the fish from Finding Nemo, keep swimming. Thank you.